So at the time of recording this video, this channel has 2,302 subscribers and was just today monetized, which means that I get paid for you watching this video.
You are the product.
The monetization is a huge, huge deal to me because it means that this little hobby of mine could actually maybe be something that sustains me, which is the modern dream, right? Finding a way to make a living doing something that you love. But I also have mixed feelings, and I want to give you a glimpse into the questions and complications that have come up for me, as this still very tiny channel has finally started to gain a little bit of traction, and maybe you can even help me through it. So, a little background on me and my YouTube journey so far. I think all YouTubers go through some experimentation to find out what kind of content they actually want to make, and I was certainly no exception. In the beginning, I thought my channel was going to be about piano arrangements of cover songs where the MIDI notes descended in this cool animated style. There were already some YouTubers doing this who had gotten pretty big, but they had kind of beaten everybody to the punch, and by the time I started doing it, this specific thing wasn't really novel anymore. And I wasn't nearly as good at piano as most of these guys anyway, although I did do some arrangements of SpongeBob songs that to this day have more views than any of my other content. But I stopped doing that, and when COVID hit, I started making music theory explainer videos.
Listen to what happens to the major scale when we raise the fourth and make it Lydian.
At first, this was simply out of necessity when the college class that I was teaching went fully remote. But I always loved animation and video editing, and I figured that instead of just recording bland lectures over Zoom, why not put actual effort into recording high-quality content? And pretty soon, I got pretty serious about it. There was a learning curve. When I go back and watch the first videos where I tried to speak to the camera, I want to crawl into a hole and never emerge. But I did get better. Now, as it turns out, music theory is a hard YouTube niche. The world just doesn't need another video on how to understand the circle of fifths. So I tried some other stuff too. General musical advice. Do anything that gets your musical progress out of the bedroom and into the real world. Memes.
I personally believe that US Americans are unable to do so.
Analysis of popular music.
Today we're going to be looking at the song My Future by Billie Eilish.
And the channel was growing, but at a snail's pace. And none of this content ever got more than like a few hundred views. And then something completely unexpected happened in my life. I got a random call from somebody who I was only mildly acquainted to, and next thing you know, I'm traveling the world playing huge shows. Now, surely that's got to make for great content, right? So I started making vlogs of these gig experiences.
We're here in Gold Coast, Australia.
But these didn't do too great either. And then something interesting started to happen. I noticed that anytime I made a video that had anything to do with gear, that it got a lot more views. Which kind of makes sense. I mean, make videos on things that people are already searching for, right? I did 2 videos on the Rolly Seaboard that did pretty well, and even resulted in Rolly making a video on me. But you can actually just think about playing. So I leaned into that. I made a video on the Oberheim OBX8, the Moog Little Fatty, and the Mellotron M4000D. And those did okay. Better than my non-gear content at least. But even though things were picking up slightly, I was getting a little bit discouraged and impatient for something to hit in some kind of larger way. Then I combined the concept of a gig vlog and a gear review, and I made the video My Keyboard Rig on Tour with Miss Lauryn Hill and the Fugees.
The Prophet 6 is my favorite analog keyboard ever.
And that video did really well. And suddenly I was getting like 100 subscribers a day. And a few of my older videos even started to pick up too. And then I did a video that was just a playthrough of the patches on the new Yamaha Montage. And that did just as well. And where my first 1,000 subscribers took around 3 years, the next 1,000 came in like 3 months. And suddenly it felt like this channel was actually starting to get somewhere. Although, even after that burst of growth, if I strayed outside of the gear niche, it still didn't do nearly as well. And that was kind of disappointing.
I was winning.
Finding your niche on YouTube is like searching on a beach with a metal detector. You try a bunch of things, and then you stumble upon something that hits. Now, probably the most surefire strategy would be to lean hard into what I know works and make consistent content in a single niche. And I could certainly do that. I mean, there's never any shortage of keyboards and gear to talk about, and I've done the market research. I already know that a video like the top 5 synths under $500 or the one weird thing you didn't know your Yamaha Montage could do is more or less a guaranteed hit. But here's the thing. My caring about gear only goes so far. I care about my gear, and I care about what gear will help me do the things that I want to do, but this is my art, and I think I have more to offer than gear reviews and sound demos. So, listen. We have to come to some kind of agreement. Together, you and I have to figure out the Venn diagram of what you want me to be, and what I want to be. Because I know that what you'll click on is the 10 best pedals to use on a Fender Rhodes or the 5 most realistic piano plugins. But I would rather explore topics like what AI means for musicians, or what musicians need to know about economics, or what blockchain technology has to offer the music world. I have to feel creatively engaged and intellectually fulfilled, or else this isn't going to work out between us.
It's not you, it's me.
Things change a bit when you get your first taste of getting picked up by the almighty algorithm. Before, I basically made the videos that were already in my head at whatever time interval I felt like. Now that things are moving a little bit, I feel like I have to be really tactful about which videos I make, and I feel a whole lot more pressure to get one out every week or two, or else the algorithm might drop me or something. This video itself feels risky, and if I'm being honest, worrying about all this stuff all the time feels pretty creatively stifling.
It's hard for the little guy to perform under pressure.
Will money coming in even feel good? On one hand, I feel like just the fact that this is generating any income at all will be justification and encouragement to keep plugging away at it. On the other hand, I can't imagine that it's going to be all that much. And if it's $10 a month or something like that, then I feel like after a while that'll actually be more discouraging than if it was nothing at all. Should I be really serious about this and aim for 1 million subs and start a Patreon and try to take on sponsors and do this full time? Or should I be more chill about it? Make the videos I'm inspired to make and avoid having any serious expectations?
You have to think small.
These are difficult questions. What I know for sure is that this is my favorite thing to do. Making videos exists at the intersection of all my passions. I love music, obviously, and I love video editing and graphic design and effects, and I also love communicating and telling my story. I want to make this work, but making it work is going to be a careful balancing act of merging what I want to be, what the world wants me to be, and what works with the algorithm. And most importantly, doing it all in a way where it's possible for me to maintain my love of doing it. So here's my plan going forward, and I'm saying it out loud just as much for myself as for you. I'm gonna find ideas for gear videos that excite me because I know that's what works, but it's gonna have to be cooler than your standard thing in some way. Maybe I'll see how many beans I can fit into a microcorg or something like that. Also, I can't make videos on only that or even primarily that. I'm also going to tackle other music topics that fascinate me as well, and just accept that it's not going to be as surefire of a thing as going for the easy clicks. But that kind of just has to be okay, because it's my art, and it has to be creatively fulfilling. And we'll see where it goes. We're going to fuck around and find out. I'm very excited that I just got monetized, and I do hope that this hobby of mine might actually be able to sustain me. If that doesn't happen, or if this channel doesn't blow up, it's okay, because at least I will have made art that I'm proud of. I think what feels healthiest is to think of this channel the way that I think of most other parts of my career. This channel should be part of my income, the same way that gigs and teaching are part of my income. If this happens to blow up and I become the Mr. Beast of MusicTube, that's cool, but being dead set on this supporting me exclusively feels like a recipe for having an unhealthy relationship with it. And I need to keep my relationship with this healthy if I'm to be in it for the long haul.
It's a fucking marathon, okay?
So that's where I'm at, and that's the state of this channel. Okay, back to work. Alright, so I am just watching through this video as I'm driving home from rehearsal, and I'm just realizing that I forgot to say thank you. If you're one of the people who has tuned into this channel and has supported my work, I really, really appreciate you, and it's really cool that, you know, no matter how much money comes in or whatever, it's really cool that I can do this and that some amount of people, even if it's a small amount of people, are paying attention. So if you're one of those people, I really appreciate you. Happy New Year as we go into 2024. Good luck to you and whatever endeavors that you are plugging away at yourself. And I'll see you in the next video.